Hi everybody, and welcome back to Sketch to See. This is the third and final installment of the interview with my wife Jamie. Stay tuned, we've got some interesting things coming up about what we plan to do, the future of the channel, and where we hope to see you again soon. So stay tuned and enjoy. Not entirely sure if that clip will make it into the final cut, but one of our dogs just popped up. And our dogs have actually played a role in the entire design of this vessel. So, what are the plans with them?
So we have our dogs, and our dogs are our family members. And I know that might sound a bit crazy to people, but I was not going anywhere without them. So we have designed the boat, not for the dogs, because I understand that's a bit extreme, but done things like enclosed staircases or made sure there's no thresholds on the doorways, things like that, just to make it a bit easier for the dogs to move around and us not to hit our toes either. But yeah, the boat is equipped and big enough passageways and safe enough for the dogs to come on board with us, and that was kind of one of my conditions for going now. I feel like if you get a pet, you get a pet for life, and unless it's a health reason or some extenuating circumstance you can't control, you keep your pets. And so I'm keeping my pets, and they're coming sailing.
We also added a couple extra layers of lifelines on the exterior perimeter of the vessel too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Some of these modifications, not a big deal to do, but needs to be thought of because it will make a world of a difference.
Yeah.
So, speaking of dogs, family and friends.
Family, friends, pets, yeah. If pets are family. Family and friends, what do you want to know? I think what do you want to know?
Well, what are your plans for family and friends? Now we know you've made special exceptions for the dogs, what about your family and friends?
What? You're saying I can bring all my friends and family on board with us all the time?
Sheer terror.
No, I think that's the beauty of having a bigger yacht. I think we like our alone time, but we're not going to be alone a ton. My parents are really eager to sail, my brothers, you've got a brother and sister, and your mom, I'm sure, would love to get out on the water. So I think we've got room and the ability to host family and friends, and we've been living further away from everyone in the Caribbean for 7 years now. I can't believe it's been almost 7 years. Yeah, and I think it'll be really a great way to reconnect. As much as we could be far away from home, home being Canada for my family, or the States for yours, the West Coast, we can now have them with us, and it's a little bit easier to travel, or we can go to them, or they can come with us. I think it's going to be a great mix, and I'm really excited to have people with us on the boat. Not all the time.
Yeah, I was just about to say I didn't realize that I agreed to build a floating hotel at any point.
Except Mom and Dad, you can live with us.
So we spoke quite a bit about this project in general, some of our on the water experience that we've discussed. What is your actual sailing experience? Are you going to be able to pilot and manage this thing?
All by myself, right out of the dock. No, obviously. Sheer terror, ladies and gentlemen, sheer terror. So I hold a crew license now after we learned how to sail in Sydney in 2009. And I'd say I'm a pretty competent sailor on smaller boats. I don't think I've been on anything that I've had a hand in over 40 feet. So
she loves sailing, single-handing our little Hobie getaway.
Yes, yeah, I love a time on the Hobie getaway. I haven't had a hand in helping on anything over 40 feet, but I'm pretty competent, I think, when I do that. And I'm really excited to get on a bigger yacht and have time to learn. And I think for me, when I'm learning something new, I don't want to be rushed into it. I get a bit nervous that way, but I am excited to learn some of the more sophisticated systems and see how a larger yacht like this runs, and just get really comfortable sailing on it. Ultimately, I would love to get a captain's license, and I think being on board all the time and getting hours, that's something that'll be relatively easy to work towards.
I can't really think of a better platform to get your first captain's license on it.
I think that's like what, being bought a race car for your 16th birthday or something.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of what it would
the
be.
equivalent of getting a Ferrari when you turn 16. So pretty spoiled to be learning on this type of platform, but I couldn't be looking forward to it more.
She's not learning for the first time.
No. But I mean,
I'm really excited to learn.
Stepping up my game.
I'm really excited to play around on this boat. It's certainly going to take some getting used to for both of us.
Yeah.
Another thing that you and I have been back and forth a few times on is, this is a multiple point question.
Okay.
Is the boat's obviously being built in China. Mm-hmm. We currently live in the Caribbean. We've spoke about boarding in China.
Yeah.
We spoke about having the yacht delivered to Florida. We've spoke about having the yacht delivered to California. And we've also spoke about where we want to go.
Yeah.
At this point, we still haven't sat down and gone through the global routing maps and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
that we're actually planning to do, which leads me to another question.
How many
But
questions is it?
To start off,
Yeah.
where do you see our first year going? Let's put it that way.
So ideally, I mean, there are quite a few factors in play here that if things stay exactly the same as they are, you and I will be flying to China and boarding this boat and figuring it out from there. And our first year will be Asia. If things kind of change for us and we decide to really like pack up our situation here in the Caribbean and move on from that entirely, then I'm hoping the Med or the Caribbean, like kind of coming to Florida and being a bit closer so that we can get the dogs on board easily, so that we will have familiar supplies to get on board with when we're provisioning. Just making that transition a bit easier and having family and friends kind of help us with that at first. So I would love to be sailing around closer to the east coast of North America and down into the Caribbean, or if bringing the boat that far isn't really realistic, then maybe the Med and starting out there and just cruising around some of the smaller islands and taking it easy, getting a feel for it.
Personally, I'm not sure if there's much of a material difference between having the boat delivered to the Med or Florida or California. If you had your option, what would be your first choice?
I think that would be the East Coast, like Florida. Florida or Annapolis or anywhere in there to again, be closer to family and friends, provision things exactly the way we want it, be close
good
to some
commissioning
good
people.
Yeah, be close to some good boatyards for commissioning, and just feel like we're getting off on this journey on the right foot.
So now that our first year has been completed, where are we going years 2 through 5? How long is this supposed to last? What are your future plans here?
I think that's a really big question. We've covered part of it. There are a number of places that I want to sail, and in terms of routing, I'm not going to make a decision right now. I think that that'll depend on where we have the boat delivered, how things go in our first year. With the HH boats that we've seen, I'm not expecting any big warranty work at first, and so that could change things. You just never know, but I think we've got a lot of options ahead of us, and I'm not really going to comment on that right now. But in terms of length of being on board, you and I have talked about a circumnav, and depending on how much we like different areas or want to stay in certain places or not, I don't want to feel rushed in that. And so I think anywhere from 5 to 7 years for sure of living on board and exploring in that way.
And 5 to 7 years, is that one circumnav in that period, or is that a hot route, a cold route? Is it a mix of both?
I think it'll be a mix of hot and cold destinations, and who knows? Who knows? Maybe we fall in love with Iceland and never leave. I don't know. Are we sailing to Iceland? Yeah. I don't. Maybe we fall in love with a spot and spend 6 months there, and there goes half a year. And we don't know. Whatever the governments will allow, whatever weather systems allow, where it's safe to be. Who knows what's happening with family and friends? Do we need to get off the boat for a certain period of time? So yeah, I think that giving us a 5 to 7 year window is a good option, a good starting point.
Okay, fair enough.
Now, do you have any more questions? Is there anything else you want to ask me?
I don't really have anything else written down, and I think that is a pretty good summary for your first encounter with the cameras.
Oh, there you go. All right, well then, if that's it, then I will thank all of you guys for watching. I get to do the outro today. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. And if you're not already following us, then you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Sketch to See. You can email Sean at sketchtosee@gmail.com. And if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and share. A little click from you goes a long way for us. Thanks, guys, and we hope to see you again soon.
I hate how easy you made this look.
This is why I'm always telling you it's so easy.
I hate that.